Hey, good morning. It's John again playing Immaculate Grade, coming off some lackluster performances pretty late last night on grids 375, 376. I'll try to do a little bit better this morning, trying to knock this thing out for a long day. We got a lot of people to introduce my son to, so I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna start sharing. Let's uh, let's start now. I guess I just share my screen when I'm just on my laptop, huh? And get rid of that. So I'm going to hit delete, go, and play, and away we go. And Saturday, so no teams. Let's see, Nolan Ryan also means I'm working with a smaller laptop. All right. Let's see, Eckersley, go there. 10 win, less than 3 for career. Okay, Walter Johnson. All right, 300 wins in the Hall of Fame, Cy Young. 300 saves in the Hall of Fame, Raleigh Fingers. In the Hall of Fame, less than 3 ERA. Pedro? I think Pedro was under a 3 for his career. That's correct. All-star with 300 wins. How about Gaylord Perry? 300 saves, making an all-star team. Yeah, Francisco Rodriguez. That'll be a interesting one. Then all-star with a under 3 career ERA. And I'm already almost at a minute 30. That's such a, like, even Greg Maddux didn't have a career ERA under 3. So you're either going with someone who's really new and made an All-Star team, but even like I don't think Corbin Burns has a sub 3 ERA, or you're going way, way back, but not too far back because the first All-Star game was 1933. So for example, you well, let's just go Koufax. That should work, right? I'm actually curious how many options there are. So it took me 2 minutes. There's 146 options. For some reason, I thought that number would be way lower. It's 146 options. Of course, that could be a reliever. So maybe that's the reason there. There's only 7 people in the Hall of Fame with over 300 saves, and Fingers only took 5%. So I'll probably go Suter on that one. But went with obviously the most popular here. I might be able to swing a reliever here, maybe. I used to win. There were relievers who would win 10 plus games back in the day. This is a tough one. This is going to be a tough one. All right. So that's that. Let's bring up this grid. And go ahead and play, but without the clock and without all these advertisements. They are not paying me to advertise on this show. All right. I, for some reason, I think maybe go early win here. I think he's, as 300 game winners go, he's one of the more obscure. So he takes 2%. Over here, let's see. I guess we can go 19th century here. Hud Galvin takes 1%. And then the All-Star era, that's an interesting question. Who's going to be, of the 300 game winners, who would be the most obscure in the All-Star era? And I think I made a mistake by going Gaylord Perry because I think he'd be one of the more logical choices. Um, Because I mean, you haven't had a 300 game winner in a while. Randy Johnson won his 300th game in 2009. Before that, I think you're looking at Glavine and then Clemens and Maddox around the same time, like the '03 time frame. I think Glavine was like in '07. Um, Before them, I think you'd have to go to Nolan Ryan. Before that, I think Gaylord Perry. Um, oh, Phil Necro and Don Sutton will both work. Maybe I go with them. Now that I think about it, I probably should have gone maybe like old Haas Radborn here and played an early win over here, but I'm sure Sutton will work. Takes 5%. All right. So a 10-win season. So for Hall of Fame 300 saves, I am going to go with Suter. He takes more than, was it fingers that I played? I think so. For a 10-win season, 300 saves in a career, I think Raleigh fingers will work, and I know Gossage will work. Um, that'll like probably be. I don't know about Jeff Reardon because relievers used to save a lot or used to win a lot more games because they were used as firemen. So their annual save totals would be quite a bit lower. Um, in the range of in the 70s and 80s, your ace relievers would be in the range of, 20 and 30 saves. You weren't seeing guys getting to 40, 50, 60 saves. Not in those days. I mean, there's only been two people, one person who's gotten 60 saves, but um, you wouldn't see people with those big save totals because oftentimes they'd come in, in tie games and get wins, and you would see relief seasons. So I think Raleigh Fingers and Gossage, they both had like 10 and 11 win seasons. Um, I think you could go either way on those gentlemen. I'm going to go with Raleigh Fingers because he was a Brewer. He takes 9%. Eckersley was an obvious choice, and he took over 70% because he was a starter. So he had actually 20 win season, at least one, maybe two 21 seasons. So he was an obvious choice. That's why he took over 70%. But there were years where relievers would rack up those types of save totals. All right. And as far as 300 saves, All-Star, um, I'm not sure the most obscure is, but I gotta believe Houston Street made like an All-Star team. So let's go with him. All right, he takes zero point 0.5. He's kind of a sneaky member of the 300 save club because he didn't have a ton of big save seasons. I think he had a 40 save season in there. He had a bunch of like high 20, low 30 seasons, but those will add up and you will get to 300 saves. Um, the modern 300 saves was a big milestone when like Fingers got there, Suter got there on the mark, Gossage got there. With a bunch of those 25 and 30 win seasons, or excuse me, save seasons. But the Houston Street is not like anybody's idea of like the reliever of the this era. It's just been plenty of guys who get there in the one inning save era. So I'm gonna sip some coffee. This episode brought to you by coffee. All right. Now we need a player with a sub 3 career ERA. I'm trying to remember if there there's some nuance to um that there were all-star games in the Negro Leagues. I don't know if they were played in the 20s when Bullet Rogan played. Um, and of course, there's probably like some position player I could go with who pitched one scoreless inning and made an all-star team, but not necessarily thinking those folks either. Rogan definitely got to 10 wins. Let's see how he does. Nice, less than point 0.1. Let's see, Hall of Fame with under a 3 ERA. About old Haas. Kind of figured he'd be a little bit more up there. And then under a 3 career ERA and making an all-star team. How about Billy Wagner? I don't know if that's the best choice. He's been in the news a bit, just at, making with his Hall of Fame considerations going way up. But let's see how he does. 4%. Okay. So a rarity score of 29, close to yesterday's. This is the one where I'm surprised how many options, but there's probably a lot of folks who made an all-star team and as a position player and like threw one inning. That's interesting. I didn't actually realize Bob Gibson had a sub 3 career ERA because he actually won one of his Cy Young awards with over a 3 ERA. Interesting. All right. Well, I am going to call it there. He also won one of his Cy Young awards with an almost 1 ERA. So, all right. Going to call it there. Thank you so much for playing. Thanks for putting up with my lousy video quality. I'll be back at tomorrow. Peace.